that this is a flawless production. That said, I'm not flying solo. I got my co-host here, Ikechukwu Agu. Hello, sir.
Hi, good evening, Vivian. Good evening to our viewers. It's actually a wet Wednesday to actually have discourse, making rounds. But it's good to be here, Vivian. Let's get it on.
All right, guys, let's get the show on the road. So our very, very first hashtag is hashtag NDC primaries. Remember how the NDC, which by the way is said to have overtaken the ADC as far as popularity goes. Well, the party conducted its primaries not too long ago, but the results have not been officially announced, and it is raising a lot of dust. In fact, one of the aspirants went public today, said he's been spending 1 million naira every day in a hotel. He's not based in Nigeria. He flew into the country just to participate in the NDC primaries, and he's wondering why the results are being withheld. He's pleading with the party, or would you say he's demanding that the results be released so that he can stop spending so much money. Some netizens were like, oh my gosh, some people are that wealthy to pay 1 million naira every day in a hotel and all of that. But that is just one of the talking points. There are lots of people saying, what's the holdup anyway? And some are saying, look, the NDC is not your usual party. They're ensuring that things are done the way things are supposed to be done. So I take you to X now. Take a look at the very first post. Of course, there is a video, but first, NDC aspirant pleads for primary results after burning 1 million naira daily in Abuja. US-based businessman Chidi Anyang, running for the Mbano
Onuimo, Okigwe Federal Constituency seat,
posted a video urging the Nigeria Democratic Congress NDC to release official primary election results from late May. He denied early reports claiming that he had won, calling them fake news, while the party's National Executive Council holds sole authority to ratify outcomes at an upcoming meeting. The week-long delay has sparked viral claims of a hijacked process and nationwide uncertainty, with aspirants like Anyanwu facing mounting costs amid opaque proceedings. But Chooks is also jumping on this. Let's take a look at the next post before I show you the video. It is hashtag NDC primaries. Let's take a look at the next post. Well, Chooks says, quote, NDC should please release the primary election results. I spend not less than 1 million naira in a day here in Abuja since then, end of quote. Chidi Mike, Imo State Federal House of Representatives aspirant. So credit goes to Chooks for the video. Guys, take a listen.
NDC, make una release the primary results, please. Every day in this Abuja, I spend nothing less than 1 million naira every day to be here. That is not the problem. The problem is the high blood pressure that comes with whether your name go there or you win or you no win. That is the problem. My number 2 problem now this red cap chief where they wear every day on a coco. Come up in it, we have win, make my may win it. Then we can up one on make on a release results. Thank you. I beg. NDC, make una release the primary results, please. Every day in this Abuja, I spend nothing less than 1 million naira every day to be here. That is not the problem. The problem is the high blood pressure that comes with.
There you go. I mean, Ikechukwu, what do you have to say? Do you want to say something before we go back to X, where we'll see how netizens...
Let's see what netizens...
Well, let's have the netizens have their say before Ikechukwu jumps on this. Pato says, I think we should call NDC out for this. APC and ADC did it, and we wouldn't want NDC to do it. The intention is simple. After 14 days, aspirants will lose the legal ground to challenge any injustice done during the primaries. It's a legal gap that political parties are all trying to exploit. James O says, when they tell una say NDC no be for moles, una think say na joke. NDC is not only a political party, but also a political institution on its own. You contest no mean say you don't win or ga. NDC no dey rush. We know they rush here. Credible candidates will be elected. And then good governance is a human right says, was this guy against APC and the Cubana guys because of his personal ambitions or personal political ambitions? This guy is sounding too desperate for someone who truly wants to serve. Ikechukwu, I don't know if you've discovered or if you perceived any form of desperation in the voice.
No, actually.
Or the tone.
None.
None? Well, there are more reactions. Let's take a look at the next one, and then we'll continue to dissect this matter as it plays out on X. Ogbeni says, I don't know why I found myself laughing so hard. And he's saying this politics is not for the faint-hearted. Now, Ogbeni somehow found this to be comic. I don't know, it was like comic relief for him. Then Olushola says, and they want real-time transmission of results by INEC. Make we just day waka pass me. And then Mashallah says, how would election that everyone had forgotten about still have results pending? Just mere party elections, so haba. And then Arinze says, but on a more serious note, what is NDC waiting for? This gives time for manipulations. Personally, I don't like it. Now, do you think these concerns are valid? Now, juxtapose this against one of the netizens that thinks, well, we are not in Russia, so we are not rushing. He said NDC is just taking its time to ensure that things are done the way they should be done.
Well, first and first, I know something that when, an incident like this, when, justice is delayed, there seems to be a level of manipulation that might happen. Or not, yes. That's what I said might happen. So NDC is a new party at this level, right? They've not faced this level of, attention. So it's actually quite new for them. They've not managed this level of, awareness, this level of people jumping on their political space for, major elections like this level of, candidate vying for positions and all that. It's new to them. So yes, it's going to really affect them in terms of logistics, how they're going to actually handle it. They don't have the manpower. In fact, before 2 months ago, right, before P2B actually joined the party, there was no, NDC was not even anywhere in the picture of political parties that would be contesting.
No, but it's just like a child, right? A child does not come out of his or her baby's womb.
Run.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's a process.
So it's a new space for them.
Yeah, there is room for evolution, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
But on a serious note, right? Now that we are here, now what I see here is a man who, for me, really didn't actually. I'm talking about the man, the Chidi himself now, who really didn't do his thorough research before jumping on Nigerian political space. Here's the thing, right? If you're contesting an election in Nigeria, you're definitely going to spend money. It's not about money you give to people now. It's money, this sort of logistics, you have to spend it, right? You want to stay in Abuja for this long, right? You want to feed, you want your own personal, you're coming from abroad, so definitely there are certain things you definitely will not want to mix with people. You might, because of security, you might put, have your private security and all of that. All of these things will definitely go up a lot of money. Now he's expecting that, coming into the country, the first few days after the election, the results will be called. Unfortunately, it's not. And that's exactly why he's actually coming out. Not because, he didn't actually plan to actually spend up to $1 million a day. Maybe his calculation was like, maybe within 4 days, even if I spend $1 million every day. But now it's exceeded, what he actually planned for.
That's
exactly
a lot, man. Let's talk about
he's actually complaining. But then the truth is, we should not be spending $1 million a day. It just tells you everything you need to know about the value of the currency that we have and the height of insecurity. Because now security now is very well overpriced. Maybe he's got 1 or 2 policemen around as his personal security, plus other personal securities as well. So you spend on all of these persons, and then it's going to tear your pocket, and that's exactly why the man is actually complaining.
Some netizens were suggesting that how about he thinks about some form of relocation to maybe his hometown in Nigeria.
Wow, Imo State? Imo State can be quite, interesting at this point. So
what do you mean? Security-wise?
Because in Southeast, that is the least secure space, right?
So you're saying it's a hotspot?
Yes, it's actually a hotspot. So whatever it is afraid of in Abuja, definitely in Imo State is, it's almost 2 times, that particular issue is actually running away, or will be running away from in Abuja.
That's you. That's
That-
you playing the part of,
No,
part
no,
of a
I-
mind reader.
No, I'm not even.
It just might not be
No,
it.
no, no. I'm looking at it from the statistics that we have about security concerns of both cities.
No,
Abuja
I'm
and Imo State.
saying you
Yeah,
thinking.
it might not happen,
Yeah.
right? But I'm just looking at the data that we have in our hands. What is happening in Imo State in the last 12 months? What is happening in Abuja in the last 12 months? So you get to know that Abuja is safer to Imo State. But again, right, what I would have done if I were in his shoes is just to go back to where I mean, it's not about for them to just call the result, yeah? You can actually get the result from any part of the world that you're in. So I don't know why he's sticking around in Abuja, but then it says a lot about the economic situation of the country as well.
And we keep our fingers crossed to see how this whole thing pans out, waiting for the official results of the NDC primaries to be announced. We move on now to another story that's making some huge splashes online, talking about #GovInno. Now, the governor of Akwa Ibom State, who happens to be a clergyman as well, a pastor, has sacked one of his aides because this said aide had gone on social media, Facebook precisely, to criticize President Tinubu over rising insecurity in the country. Now, he did that and almost immediately was sacked. Now, I take you straight to X now. Parallel Facts has that story, and of course, lots of netizens are jumping on it. Parallel Facts says Akwa Ibom governor sacks APC aide for criticizing Tinubu and calling for his resignation amid escalating nationwide insecurity. I mean, Ikechukwu, you've got to go. You must have some huge. I was going to use the B word, but hey, you must have guts to be serving in an APC government and come out and ask an APC president to resign.
Yeah, and that's what he should have done before criticizing.
Oh,
yes.
You mean the aide should have resigned
Absolutely.
before criticizing the president?
You can't criticize. You can't criticize the government that is paying you, right? That's what it is. I mean, that's where I fault him, and I think it's the right call.
So you can't bite the hand.
No, you can't. Absolutely. If you say, you're saying it out of good conscience, you're part of the government because you are in it. So step aside and then criticize them fairly.
Well, this is debatable. Some people might say, look, the fact that he's an aide doesn't mean it's partisan, right?
Your Oga is an APC. You're criticizing your Oga's Oga. And you're expecting us to be fired.
Let's find out what netizens are saying about this. I'm taking you back to X now because lots of netizens are jumping upon this one. We see the first one. This is coming from Awaken. Awaken says, only sycophancy will take you far in Tinubu's government. Welcome to the Jagabans dynasty. That's coming from Awaken, a.k.a. Wakiwek. Amida says, I'd rather be elected by the people than be appointed by the government. Dara says, APC is inhuman and conscienceless. It's an inhuman and conscienceless group. And Dara says there is nothing like the fear of God in the minds of the group. There are more reactions. Let's take a look at the next one. So Akpo 78 says, he's among the worst governors in Akwa Ibom State. Let him continue. Godfatherism of Akpabio will not allow him lift a single pin. Black Today says, I'm sure he knew he would be sacked, but did it anyway. Ikechukwu,
absolutely.
Apparently.
Yeah, that's what he should have done.
Yeah, but Black Today was saying that he already was going to sacrifice his career, that he probably knew he was going to be sacked.
Maybe he did.
But did it anyway. Well, who knows? There could be another side to that coin. That irregular Edo guy says this is pure tyranny. He defected to APC and now demanding blind loyalty while insecurity ravages the nation. And then he goes on to say, real leaders value honesty, not sycophants. The next one. Canary says, is the Akwa Ibom governor an RCCG pastor too? That's $1 billion question. Oh, but Ikechukwu, you researched this. He's not, right?
No, he's not. He's not on RCCG.
All right. That said, let's talk about pastors or clergymen. Yesterday, we brought to you #RCCG. The general overseer had come under fire for not leading a protest, wanting to end the spate of insecurity in the country. Netizens were saying that a huge protest led by Pastor Adeboye should have held. But then again, the RCCG, or should we say the media handler, put up a post on X yesterday saying that if you're expecting an 84-year-old man to come lead a protest when Nigerian youths are there, then you've not even started. That generated a huge buzz online yesterday. But then again, something happened The general overseer of the RCCG gave service chiefs an ultimatum. He said, end terrorism in Nigeria in 90 days or resign. Now, the military brass has not come out to say anything yet in response to what the clergyman said. Even President Tinubu has not responded, right? Because he said some things about President Tinubu's speechwriter not being good and how people around President Tinubu are not telling him the right things and how all is not well with Nigeria. But then again, one of his godsons now, today, Apostle Suleiman, this brings me to the current hashtag now, has come out to defend the clergyman. He's saying people are asking him to go and protest, and that because he protested against Jonathan some years back. So Apostle Suleiman decided to come public to set the records straight. Let me take you to X now so you take a look at the very first post. And then there's a video, of course. This is Chuk saying, quote, there are some people attacking Daddy G.O., Pastor Adeboye, claiming that he protested under former President Jonathan, but he's not protesting under Tinubu. He did not protest then. It was the PFN that directed pastors and preachers to embark on a prayer walk. Do you expect a man of 84 to come out and protest? I am a son of Adeboye, and if he is not speaking out, I am speaking out too. End of quote. Apostle Johnson Suleiman. Take a listen, guys.
There are some people who are attacking that the Jew that he protested under Jonathan. He's not protesting under Tinubu. He didn't protest. It was PFN issued that all preachers, all pastors should go for a prayer walk. Are you following what I'm talking about? It was not a protest. He said they should go for a prayer walk. He is under PFN. I'm teaching you accountability. Despite his stature and age, he's still under the PFN. So he took his placard and said all lives matter and went around and went for that prayer walk. You say a man 84 years, you come and protest. Something is wrong with your head. 84. Are you following what I'm talking about? I'm a son of Papa Adeboye. If you say Papa Adeboye is not talking, I still are not talking. Why has he not called me? If he's in support, why has he not called me to order? Say stop talking. Be seated. Is Bishop Eriko not talking? Why has that the GO not called him? Say stop talking. If he says supporting me now, do I look like somebody now that my father and the Lord will say stop talking and I'll keep talking? But you are just Nigerians always look Nigeria.
Credit goes to GMFG TV for that video you just watched. Now, a couple of responses from netizens, and then Ikechukwu will have a go. Ikechukwu and I will have a go at this. Let's take a look at the very first one. This is Bolaji Black, who says, every day, another family cries. Another child sleeps without a parent. Another mother waits for a phone call that may never come. People are being kidnapped. Communities are living in fear, and many citizens feel abandoned and unheard. How many more lives must be shattered before insecurity is treated like the national emergency it truly is? Hashtag end insecurity. Akin Tomiwa says, regardless if pastors talk or they do not talk, churches are the most targeted on this terrorist and bandits listing. So this is like a microcosm of how it's playing out. And then Noble Judge says, so where is the PFN? What is going on? We are not safe. The PFN, by the way, stands for Pentecostal Fellowship of Nigeria. Ikechukwu, what do you think about this whole story that's been raging like mad online since yesterday about clergymen leading process?
First of all, we must also look at their position in society. Really, they don't have any power to actually direct service chief. We should give them that. But then I think why people are actually calling out all of these men is that we all saw how they were very outspoken during the Jonathan regime, how they all came out, how at from Reverend Father Mbaka to the Adeboye that's been mentioned, all of them spoke heavily critically against the government at that time. Right now, people are expecting the same standard. We know you don't have power to actually lead, the troop. We know you don't have power to actually, in fact, don't come out to protest. Just use the same measure. Right? It's worse now. Use the same measure, criticize the same government the same way you did before. That's exactly what they're asking. And we should also know that PFN is just, a microcosm of the Christian body, right?
Which is
The
Christian
Christian Association of Nigeria. And at the time, right, the man who was the head of the Christian Association of Nigeria under Jonathan government was Bishop Orisho Jafo. Orisho Jafo was very much, a man around the Jonathan regime, never criticized the government. Of course, at the time, he was also, he was arrested in South Africa over the, jet and money incident, right? So now we also have people now who are expected to actually speak the same way they did now at the time, and they didn't actually say anything. So these are the issues that...
Let me chip something in before you continue. In fact, Daddy GO, talking about Pastor Adeboye, came out yesterday to say that, look, point of correction, that he didn't lead a protest against Jonathan. He just participated in a walk organized by the Umbrella Christian Body, which is what Apostle Suleiman also
and which is what
clarified.
Noble Josh is asking. Where is this umbrella body now?
Yeah.
Why are they not, leading the walk now? Why are they not coming out and say, okay, let's do this prayer? Because we need the prayer more than what than 2012 that they actually made it happen. So do it now. Let's see. These same persons actually lead it, because they are the face of the people. You see, in every society, right? The balance of society is usually the crown and the people leading it, the faith, right? Which is the churches and of course the president or whoever it is that is ruling the country. Now these men have huge influence. They form the bulk of voting bloc in the country. So whatever it is they say, definitely is going to actually trickle down to the population, their congregation. That's exactly why people are calling them to speak, so that we'll know where you stand. Do you like what's happening? Because the fact, if an elder is in a place and things are getting worse, and the elder keeps quiet, it gives off this. And this thing was going on. Are they part of it? Do they like it? And then they're supposed to speak to address the concerns in the house. And when an elder keeps quiet, it's a problem. That's exactly why people are actually calling out, the clergymen.
In the meantime, the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, has declared a 3-day mourning period. They are saying that's the way they are going to be protesting the rising cases of insecurity in the country. We don't know if that is going to metamorphose into some form of protest or peaceful walk. But if it does, you'll be the first to know as we keep it posted. That's our tradition here. On that note, we move on to the next hashtag now, which is hashtag Dati Baba Ahmed. So Dati used to be Peter Obi's running mate. That was in 2023, the last presidential election. But these two have gone their separate ways. Peter Obi has a brand new running mate right now, Rabiu Musa Kwankwaso, former Kano State governor, former NNPP presidential candidate. And Dati himself is now in the PRP, while Obi and his running mate are in the NDC. Dati is in the PRP, a party formed by his elder brother, who once upon a time used to be in President Tinubu's government, but not anymore. He resigned and left because, hey, he said, I can't just remain in this government. So Dati is now supporting someone else, supporting Donald Duke. But he's still having memories of how it was between himself and Peter Obi before the general elections in 2023. So his grouse is that currently Peter Obi's running mate does not give him enough respect. Dati says Kwankwaso works before Peter Obi if they are working together, and for some reason that gives him a cause for concern. Said when he was Peter Obi's running mate, he would never dare to do the same. Now, in case you can't wrap your head around what I'm trying to say here, let me take you to X. Vanguard has that one. We'll take a look at the first post and then we'll listen to Dati himself. Vanguard says, Kwankwaso walks in front of Obi. I never did that. Dati Baba Ahmed, former Labour Party vice presidential candidate. Now, credit goes to Symphony Podcast on YouTube. Now, take a listen, guys.
So I'm sorry to have used that language, but I still want to say if he said that, it was wrong. Now, when I was advising Obi to go and work with Kwankwaso, I admit I didn't fully see through the entire composition of these individuals. But now that things are beginning to play out, there is something fundamentally defective. And don't get me wrong, no one should get me wrong. I'm very, very happy for Peter Obi. And both of them are like seniors. They are seniors to me. I respect them tremendously. However, the way I treated Peter Obi. Look, there was a time we were going to Jos. And due to travel logistics, I was to arrive after him. If you know how I bent space and time to make sure that I got to Jos before he, make sure I was standing at the airport and arrange for him to arrive and all those kind of things, to go and receive him. Like, it was practical, but I made it happen. Obi himself will remember that it happened. But because they never say thanks, not a single person came to say, well done or thanks to me. I took it. That's fine. Kwankwaso walks in front of Obi. You don't do that. You have the videos and pictures of me. I would never do. People would be pushing me, giving me elbows and everything. And then me and Obi securities would look at each other and laugh.
I want you to jump on this before we take a look at what the netizens are saying. First, you and I have not had this discussion about him saying it was his idea that Peter Obi should merge with Kwankwaso. That was what Dati said some weeks ago, and he repeated that on this podcast. Let's talk about that a little bit.
Well, I mean, it's actually good knowing that, he understands his weight in the north, and of course that Kwankwaso is actually the biggest fish outside Alhaji Atiku Abubakar.
But he's working himself back now. He's saying that then he had not really taken these people into consideration.
No, well, he's saying...
Do you think he's holding some kind of grouse right
Well,
now?
he's saying that he really didn't actually understand what he's saying fully, or what he didn't say, right? Yeah, what he didn't say is that he really didn't understand their personality. People
Whose
can...
personality?
The both of them, if they can actually work. So, see, there are two types of VP you always have.
Okay.
There are two types of deputy in this world. There are those that are foot mats, and those that are matadors. Those that are matadors are like as strong as the leader itself. So you see them, they have presence.
Would you say former Vice President Atiku Abubakar?
Absolutely, is a matador. Okay. Absolutely. Idi Agbonda Buhari was a matador.
So many people will come to say Buhari's government worked because of his deputy, Idi Agbon. So a president is a strong man, right?
Sometimes, right, the matadors can actually, be dangerous.
Do you think Kwankwaso
No, I'm not saying. Maybe that's exactly why he's raising concern, because maybe his own personality is the personality who really doesn't appreciate the matador around, a leader. Maybe that's
but is it an issue if Kwankwaso walks in front of Peter Obi?
It's absolutely not an issue for me, but of course for people who have fragile ego, for people who have self-esteem issues, and all that kind of by my person first before every other person, they have those kind of
so
problems.
It's a psychological thing, right?
I've seen it before. It happened first time to me, so I've seen people act like that. I was just walking into a particular room with someone. I was ahead. It's actually a person's space, and the person called me later and said, why are you walking in front of me? Like,
okay.
Felt very... So there are people who have that, personality, that's disorder. I call it a disorder, actually. So when people...
Or would you say it's because of the kind of society we are in Nigeria, where respect is a big deal? People take, in fact, northern Nigeria, this thing about respect is big deal. But these two men we're talking about, Kwankwaso and Dati, are both from northern Nigeria. Imagine President Tinubu's running mate, Shetima, working with him, and Shetima is in front, and President Tinubu is at the back. Can you even picture that?
No, it can never happen when you become a president. It can never happen. Because protocol will the movement, how you sit, how you move, you definitely be, designed. Even you as a VP, then it's a problem. You can't do it.
All right. But the thing is, some netizens are thinking this is not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
So
really.
Let me take you to X now, so you take a look how people are reacting to this particular one. NS says Obi could care less, not build for special treatments. Just do your job and he's okay. He's not one for eye service. Betty Udokwe says, introducing all that nuances to create bad blood is not necessary. If Kwankwaso likes, let him run in front of Obi. The task before Nigerians is to ensure that Tinubu leaves Aso Rock next year, ensure that APC dies off like the PDP. That is coming, by the way, from Betty Udokwe. This is to let the viewer know that those views are those of netizens and not that of VOP. We move on now to the next post. Let's take a look at the next post now, because there's another video for you, but I'd like for us to take a look at the post. one jobless boy put up. Quote, if you have Donald Duke as president of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nigeria will turn around immediately. APC must not go beyond 12 years, end of quote. Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. There's a video, credit again goes to Symphony Podcast. Take a listen, guys.
See him playing his jazz occasionally. Look, he is he is typically what I call a Nigerian leader. But how he came to power, that question is for PRP to answer. And the delegates that elected him.
I thought you were a delegate too.
Well, I voted because I'm a card-carrying member of the party. And usually your choice is protected by the Constitution, guaranteed I'm protected. Yes, but I can tell you I voted for Donald Duke. Yeah. He is an excellent material, and undoubtedly, if you have Donald Duke as President, Federal Republic of Nigeria, Nigeria will turn around immediately. For the good, for good. Not the kind of turnaround we saw in 2015. I don't want to call the man's name. That you thought they would start fighting corruption. Instead, that is when they themselves started collecting cash. Cash. I'm not joking. In tens of millions, they would bring cash to them. Nigeria has never seen corruption like that, has never seen disappointment like that. Nigeria will turn around for good, not like 2015. PDP got 16 years to misrule Nigeria. I'm sorry Donald Duke was part of that government, but he was only a governor, and his state stood out then. Unfortunately, we couldn't stop APC in 8 years, but it looks like 12 years is about it. They cannot and they must not go beyond 8 years, 12 years. Yes, they must not go beyond.
Well, it's a lot. You just listen to Dati Baba Ahmed. He is a member of the PRP, a party his elder brother founded. Now, let's talk about what he said. Donald Duke, I think he was part of the class of 99, and he said, even though he was part of the PDP, apparently Dati is not a fan of the PDP, but he said Donald Duke's state stood out. Cross River.
Very well.
I remember asking you about Tinubu earlier on.
Yes.
It was Donald Duke's initiative and all. Let's talk about that a little bit.
He's actually a very brilliant administrator. That's one thing I give to the class of 99 governors. I think a good number of them actually have, vision. They are strong, right? They have, maybe because we're just coming out from, a military regime, so a lot of them have this level of free hands to actually turn the lives of their citizens within their states around. And Donald Duke showed that he's got vision. What we see in Rwanda today, what we see in other parts of the world, Donald Duke, if he had the successful government after him, the Mokes, the Ayades have actually continued, what he actually started in 19. I think River State to be, because at the time, within his, during when he was
Cross
River State, I have a friend whose father served in River State as a police officer at the time. So whenever he comes around, he talks about how River State is beautiful, the most
Cross
beautiful.
River State.
Yes, Cross River State.
Because it's different from River State.
Yes, Cross River
Yeah.
State. Yes. So the people's pride. Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's different from the Garden City. So they were actually not just the people's pride in terms of beauty and aesthetics. They were actually the nation's pride. They had everything. I recall also watching football games at the time on paid TVs, and I see how these people advertise the Tinapa, and then there's an Obudukatu Ranch also initiative within the same state. So it says a lot about how they understand the serene, they understand what they have, that state is beautiful culture and tourism. And at the time was when also the Calabar Festival was a thing. It became, the third largest festival in the world after, I think, the Brazilian festival, and I think another one in London. So it says a lot about how, this man understood, what it takes to actually take a state from where it's, from ground zero to where, the whole nations want to actually travel to Calabar every end of the year. It was actually very beautiful.
So I'm going to take you up on what you just said. I'm going to ask you if that is if that is a ticket for you to be a good president, if being a good governor would make you a good president. I'm going to ask you that question.
Yeah.
In a short while, you talked about continuity, the culture of continuity, how it is not obtainable in Nigeria. This huge project called TINAPA is dead.
Yeah.
How come?
Well,
It's even painful. Let's not even talk about it because it's a totally different kettle of fish. Maybe we'll do that some other time. But then you said his demand that he's a good administrator.
Yeah.
You seem to be re-echoing what Dati Baba just said.
yes, very well.
Does that make him qualify to lead Nigeria? Or will that make him a good Nigerian leader?
So
Because we've seen someone who was a good president or a good governor, and that might not have translated into working well at the federal level. I'm still remembering Fashola, how he did so well in Lagos, how he served under Buhari. Maybe because he was given 3 huge portfolios at the beginning.
outside his field.
Outside his field.
So you see-
Maybe that's why he didn't really perform and all. But it looked like he was swallowed up in all of that. So does it translate from being a good governor? Does it translate into being able to become a good president?
Yes, it does. I mean, it's the same capacity, right?
So would you say President Tinubu, because he was a very good governor when he ruled?
I wouldn't say President Tinubu was a very good governor.
Oh, okay.
No,
So let's leave it at that.
yeah.
So, you were saying earlier.
Yeah, so, but before, because, I mean, this is why I said I wouldn't say he was a very good governor. Before he became the governor of Lagos, Lagos State had the biggest IGR in the country. So Lagos has always been the epicenter of, economy in the country.
So the legendary Jakonde had
it's
done
done,
wonders in
but this is
Lagos.
not about, the
Yeah.
president. Let's talk about Donald Duke now. Donald Duke, as a person, it's shown that he's got capacity. Now, the thing is this, right? If you look at the state, the resources that they have, how you've been able to actually put your state as focal points in the country at the time, it says a lot about how visionary you are as a person. Now you understand that, okay, we don't have all of the resources that other states have, but we can generate a lot of money via tourism, right? You understand all of these things and you laid a perfect blueprint.
Yeah.
Calabar was a destination resort for every Nigerian, even outside, the country. People want to come to Calabar because of what, this man did, laid down, right? It says a lot about understanding what you have and making the most out of it. Now, it's a different thing if you go into office. Again, as the president, now you have all of this, because I'm not going to talk about, it also depends on, people who is going to be walking around.
Aha.
Now again,
That's a fact.
if we talk about people who you'll be walking around, we also have to go back to the state again. For him to have the right minds to actually walk around him as, commissioners, says a lot about him having also a very good eyes for talent hunting to actually pick out the best of ministers.
So in other words, you're saying Donald Duke
It's
might
definitely-
be a very good
Yes.
leader if given the chance.
a better leader than all we've had since '99.
So let's talk about him, entering the race and how it's going to split votes in the
No,
South.
it's not splitting votes.
Really?
The best he will do is in Cross River State.
Really?
That's the best.
Yeah, so you think he doesn't
Nah.
have
So-
that wide reach?
So this is it, right? People look at the South South and say South South.
Mm-hmm.
South South is just a group of people who have nothing in common, tied into a geopolitical space. That's what it is.
So you're saying Rivers has nothing in common with Cross Rivers?
Absolutely.
And Cross Rivers has nothing in common with
Nah,
Akwa Ibom,
nothing.
and Akwa Ibom has nothing in common with
Nothing.
Delta.
Nothing. So they are all independent, man, just like in the North Central too. These are a group of people, absolutely different kind of persons within that particular space. So that's exactly the best he's going to do is in River State. Is it possible he's going to win River State? I want to believe he will because, he's left a good blueprint. But outside River State, no, I don't see anything.
Yeah, but with the likes of Dati Baba Ahmed and his other brother backing Donald Duke, you don't think he's going to take at least one state from the north?
From the north.
Yeah. All right, your laughter says it all. Let's just leave it there. Apparently, Dati Baba Ahmed has been converted. He's no more a Peter Obi follower. He's now a Donald Duke follower. Do you think at the end of the day, he might become Donald Duke's running mate?
It's very possible. I mean, it's for the balance of the ticket.
Yeah.
So yes, it's very possible he might be. But then if he becomes the, deputy or the running mate of, Donald Duke, again, it says a lot about how the ticket is. I don't see any strength in it, but it's a good try. For me, I think Donald Duke might actually be doing it to actually put himself out there again because it's for politicians. It's all about visibility. Sometimes for you to actually warm up back to the race and then come back to the political water to see how far your popularity is. And then maybe after this next cycle, people will start considering, okay, I think he did very well. Let's work with him. Concourse will never agree to be Peter B's, running mate pre-2023 election. But he saw this race, and
Yeah,
of course,
I mean,
now he look like, okay, I think I can actually work
it
with
was
this guy.
a blatant no from Kwankwaso,
You understand?
prior to this.
That's about visibility. Let's see what he's
Apparently.
got, and then maybe in next election cycle, say, oh, I think that's the man to actually do it.
All right, let's quickly take it to X now because some netizens responded. Lots of netizens responded, but I just picked a couple of their responses. Steph says, fact. Now, Steph is responding to Dati Baba saying that Duke will be an excellent or is an excellent administrator. Steph says, fact. However, Duke entered the game late. It will be difficult to start projecting him over PO, that'll be Peter Obi, especially with Atiku spoiling things for Nigerians. Chukwu Nedum says, Gaiman is campaigning to be Donald Duke's VP already. Mr. K says, Dati is a good politician. He moves with a set of people that even though are part of the same system, want the best for Nigerians. And Paul says he would say something terrible about Donald Duke in another election cycle if he's to be in another party. You see, Ikechukwu Paul says that, so Dati is singing Donald Duke's praise now because they're in the same party. That if something happens and they're not together, some other thing.
That's for politicians. So I'm not even, I don't even talk about, because you have to be loyal to your party, you have to be loyal to whoever it is that is your party flag bearer.
What is said about politicians? No permanent foes, no permanent friends. Let's quickly take a look at some stories outside of politics. Yeah. So it is hashtag Osimhen. Instablog Niger has some juicy tale about Osimhen. I'm going to be asking Ikechukwu what he thinks about the likelihood of it happening. Let's go to X now, where Instablog Niger is saying that Chelsea might be making a bidding for Nigerian superstar, talking about the footballer, the striker, Victor Osimhen. Let's quickly go to X now for that post, hashtag Osimhen. So Instablog Niger says Chelsea have reportedly entered the race to sign Victor Osimhen, with Galatasaray demanding 150 million euros. There are some responses as to this one. Let's take a look at them before Ikechukwu jumps in. Blossom OC Mekoma says, Chelsea FC entering the race changes nothing unless they stop being a project club and start being a win-now club. And Osimhen is not a project player. He's a ready-made goal machine. Big Light says Chelsea can never buy him because of his character and attitude. And also, he's not the type of striker we want. Apparently, Big Light is a Chelsea fan, and Blossom is an Osimhen fan. Ikechukwu, quickly, let's talk about this before we talk about Chukwueze.
Well, see, the thing about this...
Do you think Chelsea is bidding for Osimhen?
See, I'll tell you something, right? As far as the last count, right, about Osimhen, the last news about Osimhen was about 2 days ago, and
what is it?
It's not even related to Chelsea at all.
Okay.
At all. Like, there's no news around Chelsea. It was even, Super Eagles coach who was talking about Osimhen might be leaving Galatasaray at the end of the season. No club was mentioned. But again, Osimhen is actually friends to many of these, bloggers in Nigeria, and so they might have
some insider scoop.
Yes, very well.
Possible.
So it's very possible that something might have been said, and that's why they're actually pushing it. But then we'll wait. Osimhen has always been a fan of Chelsea. Yes, when he won the under 17 World Cup, he came to Nigeria on an interview. He was saying that he wished to play for Chelsea. He's a huge fan of Didier Drogba and all of that. So
there's a huge likelihood of that.
And Chelsea almost signed him 2 seasons ago. No, yes, 2 seasons ago before he joined Galatasaray, but the money was not, the money was an issue, right?
So if the money is right now, who knows?
Absolutely,
Just
he may want to go. So and Alonso also wants him. It's part of Alonso's priority target for Chelsea this season. There are 3 players: himself, Diomande, and the other guy in the midfield. I've forgotten his name.
So you keep us posted, right, regarding the latest regarding Osimhen. Let's quickly talk about Super Eagles attacking midfielder Samuel Chukwueze, who paid Governor Alex Otti a visit in Abia. Alex Otti, by the way, is the shining star of Abia State, which is, one of the most settled spots in Nigeria right now, courtesy their governor. So Chukwueze paid him a visit to say, well done, Mr. Governor, you're doing very well. I have a post and I have a video, and of course there are responses. Let's quickly take a look at the post now. Hashtag Chukwueze. Chuks again says, Super Eagles player Samuel Chukwueze paid a visit to Abia State Governor Alex Otti, commending him for good governance and developmental strides in the state. Credit goes to Chuks for the video. Quickly. Let's take a look.
Grazie. to say. I just want to say thank you so much for the people who have been here. Thank you for my mom's prayer. Somebody never said up to me. And it was a pleasure to have him around and to have their life also.
Not very audible, but what he's saying basically is, Mr. Governor, well done and thank you. By the way, Alex Otti has clinched again the Labour Party ticket, gubernatorial ticket. Is making a comeback. How do you see that panning out? 100%?
100% is coming back.
100%. Let's quickly take a look at the responses on X quickly, and then we'll wrap this up. So, Imaging Doctor says, I wish this government, H.E. Alex, or this governor, Alex Otti, His Excellency Alex Otti, can run my state or Nigeria for just one term. It will be the best thing that will happen to us. But I believe somebody like him will rule Nigeria one day. Get your PVC ready. Obi is coming again. Nigeria must be good again. Now, Don says, this boy will dribble Umudike boys that year in SUG League. Okay, this must be someone who knows Chukwueze personally. And then Manjo Vic says, Governor Alex Otti, may you live long. And I honestly pray you will consider running for president of this nation in the future. Kechiko, 10 seconds and we'll wrap this up.
Oh, I mean,
Alex
he was
Otti.
actually thanking the governor for his the fact that he came to his mother's burial. He just lost his mother. He did that last year. So, and also saying thank you for the good work. I mean, if you've been in Abia State before now, you understand why everyone in Abia State keep talking about what he's doing. But, so let's see what the likes of Ogala, Doris Ogala will do in the election against.
Doris Ogala, the AAC Guba candidate. I don't know. We'll keep our fingers crossed. We probably might bring that hashtag for you tomorrow. Well, thank you, Ikechukwu, for bringing it up. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Thanks to everyone who contributed to making the show a success. But the bigger thanks goes to you guys for watching. Ikechukwu, fantastic as usual.
Absolutely, Vivian. This is one of those very interesting episodes of Hashtag.
Apparently. On that note, we'll wrap it up. Keep a date again with us at same time, same station for another edition of Hashtag. Until then, I'm Vivian Oguche, and bye for now.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where power shifts with every headlines, news breaks and events happens, we bring you unbiased and explicit information on politics, economy and state of the nation. We break down the chaos. Facts, not fluff. Truth, not spin. We discuss not just politics, but a glimpse into the future. Voice of the People Television. Now you have more than a voice.
Do you want your voice to be heard? Do you know that you matter in the scheme of things? The People's Voice, the show where ordinary citizens take center stage as we discuss the biggest stories that affect you and I. With you in mind, we facilitate lively discussions, debates, and interviews on the topics that matter most to you and I. From social justice to economic empowerment, education to healthcare, governance, and more. Tackling tough topics and amplifying your voice. Join the conversation and make your voice count. The People's Voice. Make your voice count.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People Television.
Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us.
VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe. Hunger no get religion.
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Are you ready for the extraordinary? Something big is happening on your screen. Introducing VOP TV. Now streaming on SLTV channel 264. From breaking news to captivating conversations, news analysis, giving you all sides to the story. We bring in-depth discussions on the issues that matter, from politics to sports, entertainment, and lifestyle. VOP TV on SLTV channel 264. Join us as we redefine what television means to you. Voice of the People Television, VOP TV. Now you have more than a voice.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before.
Hello, my name is Inedo. Keep watching VOP TV.
What up? My name is Usimachiku. You are watching VOP TV. Keep it locked.
Hello, I am Floyd Igbo. Keep watching VOP TV.
Hi, everyone. I hope you're doing good. Keep watching VOP TV. And, just have an amazing day. Thank you.
Hi, guys. It's your boy Praise. Keep watching VOP TV.
Across the grand stadiums of Europe, under dazzling floodlights and roaring crowds, a new football identity is being written, not just for clubs, but for a nation. From England to Italy, from Germany to France, Nigerian players are no longer just participants in foreign leagues. They are becoming the heartbeat of them. Look at Victor Osimhen, a striker built on hunger, speed, and unstoppable determination. From the streets of Lagos to the legendary pitches of Italy, he rose through pain, pressure, and expectation. At Napoli, he didn't just score goals, he delivered a championship dream. Look at Ademola Lookman, a story of resilience, patience, and rebirth. In Serie A, he transformed pressure into performance and criticism into brilliance. Every touch of the ball tells a story of comeback. Look at Eberechi Eze, a player of elegance, creativity, and fearless imagination. At Crystal Palace, he brings flair to structure and poetry to pressure. He doesn't just play football, he expresses it. And then there's Michael Olise, a new generation of Nigerian influence shaping European football. At Bayern Munich, he blends creativity with precision, flair with discipline, talent with maturity. Together, they represent more than individual success. They represent a movement, a generation of Nigerian footballers redefining excellence across the world. From the Premier League to Serie A, from Ligue 1 to the Bundesliga, Nigerian players are changing the rhythm of the game, not just adapting to Europe, but influencing it. They carry more than football boots, they carry a nation's pride. Every goal, every assist, every victory echoes far beyond the stadium. It echoes home. Ladies and gentlemen, Nigeria is not just producing players. Nigeria is shaping the future of football.
The red carpets, awards, the razzmatazz, music, fashion, interviews, and more. Spotlight on Voice of the People Television. Let's feed you with all the juicy stories in the global entertainment space, bringing you the glitz and glamour as it is hot. Stay tuned to Spotlight, 1 p.m. Monday to Friday. Spotlight on VOP TV. Entertainment like never before. Join us as we drive into the world of politics through insightful interviews with prominent political figures, both serving and former governors, ministers, senators, legislators, party chieftains, activists, and analysts. Get first-hand information into the decision-making processes that affect our daily lives. Highly engaging one-hour program that brings political discourse into focus.
I am Chukwuma Okoro.
Political Lens, Monday through Friday, 6 to 7 p.m. Join us. In a world where truth is the ultimate power and opinions scream the loudest, it's time to wade through the noise.
Hunger no get tribe! Hunger no get religion!
And scan the human interest and trending topics that matter. Stay tuned to The Issues, your plug to the stories making the buzz, from politics to science and technology, social justice, and more. Let's tackle the tough questions and expose the truth. The Issues on Voice of the People Television, Mondays to Fridays, 8 to 9 p.m. The Issues. Don't just react, understand.
Welcome to the locker room, the home of football talk that matters. I am Jerry Apelon. Join us every weekday, Monday to Friday at 5 p.m. Nigerian time, as we share the hot takes and hot debates in the exciting world of football. And joining me are the usual suspects, Ikechukwu and Mayowa, as we break down all the hot takes and everything that's happening in the football. Don't just watch football, live it with us. Catch us on the Locker Room and Voice of the People television at 5 p.m. Nigerian time. And like I always say, if not 20 minutes off, with the sport.
Behind every broken desk lies a broken promise. Education shapes the nations. But who is asking the right questions? Introducing Edu Dialogue, the show that goes beyond the surface, exposes the cracks, the corruption, and the silence in Nigeria's education system. Edu Dialogue, Saturdays, 3 p.m., only on VOP TV. We break the biggest stories, from missing funds to policy failures. We ask the tough questions and demand real answers. Edu Dialogue, this Saturday, 3 p.m. on Voice of the People television. Africa is on the move, a continent of rising voices, untold stories, and powerful transformations. From the streets of Lagos to the heart of Nairobi, from the mines of Congo to the tech labs of Cape Town, the African story is being written every day. Bold, dynamic, unstoppable. This is African News on Voice of the People television. We don't just bring you the news, we analyze and bring you Africa's heartbeat, the politics that shapes our nation.